all, I mentioned Evan Carmichael, with whom I had a conversation about productivity, about how to get stuff done. He'll be featured in the next issue of Proactive Magazine. And in his conversation, I was talking to him about chunking and about dividing week to different days, to different specialties. One is for writing, one for recording videos, one for depending what you're doing. And last week I had a chat with my friend Augusto about it. And Augusto actually said it was a good idea, and we consulted about it. So in the end, my week is like this. On Monday, I have administrative tasks. I'm setting up for. I have weekly review, and I do stuff for my company. On Tuesday, I do marketing for Nozbe. On Wednesday, I do product development of Nozbe and additional projects. And on Thursday, I'm supposed to be writing, which today was not the case because I was busy launching a promotion, a New Year's promotion in Nozbe. And but it's an exception. And on Friday, it's a meeting day, so I just meet with people. And what I also suggested is that I would divide a little bit of Thursday and a bit of Friday to meetings, and a little bit of Thursday and a bit of Friday to writing. So like in the morning write, or in the afternoon meet, or the other way around. This is why we talk on Thursday. And so far it's been great, but the best part was Monday. So on Monday, the thing is, with the weekly review, this is the thing that, everybody wants to do and nobody has time. We have lots of time to meet with other people, but we don't have time to meet with ourselves. So what happens is that we talked about it with Augusto, and he said, and I told him that I have at 10:30 a.m. I have a meeting with my direct report in Nozbe, and he basically laughed at me and said that I don't have time to prepare for this meeting, because if I leave my child at 9 a.m., then to 10:30, I don't have hour and a half. I will not be able to do a proper weekly review before meeting with my team. And he was right. So what I did, I changed my routine. I asked my boss, myself, if I could change the date of, the time of the meeting. And I just told my direct reports that we are meeting at 1 p.m. and not at 10:30. And what I did is I went to school to leave my child with in the school, and then right after that I went to a cafeteria, and in the cafeteria I started my weekly review. Augusto, are you here?
I may be here. Yes.
Okay. So what happened was that after leaving my child at school, I went to the cafeteria to do the weekly review, and I did a fantastic weekly review, because the thing is about Augusto has been if you don't know it, go to Proactive Magazine, where Augusto was featured. Actually, he talks about it there extensively, that he has his own routine for weekly review. I'm sure he's going to share it right now as well. The thing is, being in cafeteria only for the purpose of weekly review, there is nothing else I can do. I cannot slack off there, because the only reason I'm there is to do the weekly review, and I'm not allowed to leave the cafeteria until I've done my weekly review. So it's been a while since I've done a proper weekly review, and it was amazing. It was so good. I really did an amazing weekly review, and I like this routine. I'm going to school, getting to the cafeteria, doing weekly review, and only after that I'm getting back to my home office, and then after that I have meeting with my direct reports.
Well, I have mentioned that, and I mentioned in that interview, that was the way I was able to do the weekly review. I made it at the beginning many years ago. What I did was I made it something special. So, and I get a special coffee that I only get on the weekly review, and I get a special music, and I made it something really nice, and has been really effective. What I have learned over the years doing research is that the reason it works so well is because your brain automatically knows where you go and what you are going to do, and that allows your brain to relax and let you do what you are going to do, instead of try to push you to do everything else that you're supposed to do. And I extend that similar principle to, I mentioned that in one of my books about the browser. and I have said for years, you need to use two different browsers, one to play and one to work. And the reason is exactly that. When you open the browser for work, your brain connects and make connections in a different way than when you open the other one. And it's really, really effective.
Yeah. So really, you set up your brain for some activity, and so you're like, you have more chance to actually doing it, to put, putting it through. So second thing what I did during my weekly review actually is that so a while ago I posted a video on my proactive show, how CEO of Nozbe uses Nozbe. So I showed how I use Nozbe, and over there in the video I mentioned, which was the fact then, that I have around 50 next actions every day, and I get down to like 20 at the end of the day, and I have like 20 next actions which are like not done. So and I've been like this for a long time, and during my weekly review I decided, I never zeroed out my next action list, because I have these zombie actions there which are staring at me every day, and I read them every day, I see them every day, and I am guilty about not doing them every day, and this is not productive. So I decided to on Monday to clear out my next action list and only put there stuff that I wanted to do this Monday. And truth to be told, I haven't managed to clear out my next action list, but at least I was intentional about it. I had an intentional list of things I really wanted to do this Monday, and the rest of the stuff I moved to different projects. I scheduled them for a different day, whatever. And for example, there were stuff for Nozbe marketing, and on Monday I'm not doing Nozbe marketing, so I moved them for Tuesday, just like that. And there were things to write, so I moved them to Thursday, and things like that. So what happened was that, again, I set up myself for more success. So instead of having 50 next actions, I had 20 next actions on Monday. Well, I didn't manage to clean them all. I had 5 next actions left, which I just couldn't make happen. But still, I felt a lot better than having 50 next actions and then having 20 at the end of the day, or 30 or something like that. So again, I'm getting close to really zeroing out my next actions, and it feels a lot better than having like a long list of next actions and having this perception of being busy.
Yeah, it is important to understand on what you are busy. I mean, everybody's busy. Everybody has more things to do than probably can accomplish in the rest of the month if nothing else come in. But you need to be intentional. We are recording this show on basically the last Thursday of January. Okay, we just spent 1/12 of the year, and it is important to know how intentional you were with this 12, and especially how intentional are you going to be with the rest. You can add on the list things that they're cool to do, but you honestly know they're not going to happen. Then why are they there? Why? I'm finishing a research for a book, and that's one of the things I talk in the book is about the intention, about how to work better to those intentions. And maybe in the next show or the show after that, I will show more the details on that, because part of the problem is we set ourselves for failure. It is, when I coach people, I had a client who and I started looking on Wednesday, okay? And the problem was that Wednesday was set up, so she failed. As soon as we twitch and adjust some stuff, Wednesday start being great, Monday is a difficult date for most people, okay? They come from the weekend, you come tired, you come excited, then you know what? Make the first task on Monday an exciting one. I understand not everybody can go to the cafeteria and have a coffee and the weekly review. Fine. Then make sure that the first task you do on Monday is your favorite thing you do at work. Why? Because now you are looking forward to get there. And by the time you start with that positive spin, the rest of the day is going to be positive. So I recommend that the first thing you put Monday morning is something that you really, really, really enjoy. Okay? Don't go and open the thing that you hate the most. Okay? Go with the opposite. Go with your favorite thing. Doesn't matter if maybe not the most productive one. Because after you get speed with that, you are going to keep much more productive than what you are right
now. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so that's why, for example, for me, it is really, it's a very nice idea and, a nice concept that I know that on Monday morning, I'm going, to leave my child at school and I'm going to go to cafeteria, do something cool. I'm going to do my weekly review. I'm going to have my time only for me. And actually, following your advice, I have a playlist of songs. And actually, first songs are just Chopin, music, classical music. I'm not really a big fan of classical music, but this one calms me down for some reason. And then some instrumental tracks, but they're all instrumental tracks. So I will not sing along because I want to focus really on what I'm doing.
Right.
And this also helps. So I have my noise cancelling headphones with me. So in the cafeteria, it's I don't hear the other noises. I hear only the music, and I focus on my weekly review. And it's a very cool time. I order a very nice breakfast. So it's really a treat to do the weekly review. As you said, it's an exciting beginning of the week, and I miss that. I miss that.
It is a treat, and if you make it and keep it as a treat, what happens is you look forward to it, and as you look forward to it, you will be more inclined to maintain doing that and to keep it and to give it the importance. It's a matter of tricks. If you instead of that come to your office and don't make tea and don't do anything, you just try to, you are never going to make it. There is I think it was Michael St. Pierre who wrote on the Productive magazine, okay, about the multiple offices, if I remember correctly, okay, and that it's part of what we are referring here, okay. If you go to do the weekly review on the desk that you always sit, where you are working, where you do everything, your brain don't know how to be different than what you are. The problem with the brain is that the brain wasn't designed to go at the speed we are going right now. Okay, things like what we are doing right now were simply impossible 20 years ago. Okay, then things move at a speed of slow. There is a statistics who said that if you go to the restroom, okay, you are never going to be able to catch up with what gets published on YouTube. Okay, so the amount of data is coming. It's increasing at a speed that is simply amazing, and it's not going to slow down. So you need to give your brain the clues so your brain can switch to what you need. Okay, if you need to think, then don't think on your desk. Okay, go somewhere else. Go to a conference room. Go to you need to give your brain, but need to be always the same place and always the same tricks, because then that way you train your brain to go instantly. Okay? When my brain starts listening Beethoven 9, okay, it's 5 to 10 minutes for me to feel how it went and cool down. Probably the same thing you're describing. Why? Because I've been doing weekly review with Beethoven 9 probably for the last 10 years. That's the first track it found, okay? And then the brain knows immediately, oh, it's weekly review time, okay? And that puts you immediately in a state of mind. And that is really, really, really important.
Yeah, so that's the thing, as you said, there's so much information, and our problem is to really find focus. And this is why we've been saying so much about working on the iPad, because on the iPad it's easier to find focus because you have one app at a time paradigm. So you just work on one thing at a time. It's easier to get focused. Although right now with so many push notifications, sometimes it can be still painful and distractful. But it's easier. It's easier to maintain than so when you have so many windows and you just switch between the windows all the time. And the same goes for any other activity. We have to wire our brain into certain modes, into certain flows, in certain situations to make sure that our brain actually feels comfortable doing what it's doing. You know?
Mm-hmm. Well, you mentioned the iPad, and we mentioned that in the book. And part of the problem people have with the iPad is they want it to be a computer. Okay, and because it's not a computer and will never be a computer, they think it's not possible. And what they don't understand is that you need to do what you just described. You need to rewire your brain and your workflows. And we talk extensively about it in the book. If you want to use it, you can. But you need to do it. You need to learn to work in a different way. It is interesting now the amount of corporations that are giving iPads instead of laptops. Okay, why? Because they're much more effective and they can have a better thing. They're cheaper. There's a lot of benefits. But one of the biggest struggles they have is the user complaining because it's not a laptop.
Right, right. But no, there will be still, there's still, time for apps to catch up, and they're already really great to really make people really productive on the iPads and on the iPhones. We talked about it before that, I'm really productive right now on my iPhone 6 Plus. The only thing actually I'm complaining about the iPhone 6 Plus is the battery life. Actually, no, the battery life, no, it's more the RAM memory. So the battery life is pretty fine. It's more than on the iPhone 5S, although I'm using it more, so actually it lasts only one day anyway.
That's a problem.
But the RAM is problem, and I think it's not only the RAM, but the iOS 8, which cannot handle very well the memory, because it's just 3 apps, and then when I open the 4th app and I want to switch back to the first one, it's already reloading the app. And I should have it in the memory. I shouldn't be reloading so many apps. It's like reloading apps too early for me, and this throws me off because I've been doing something on one app, I switched to the other one, I did something, I want to go back, and then it's reloading, and still the app. I mean, and we have to blame as well. In Nozbe, it's the same. In one of the next updates, we'll try to figure out to be able to reload Nozbe and keep you in the same place that you were, like in the same place. Right now, if we reload Nozbe, you go back to the priority list, although you were in some project. So it's also painful for me when I use Nozbe on my iPhone 6 Plus, that when it's reloads, it throws me off as well. So we're working on that too. So, and many developers still haven't figured it out as well. And it's really a big problem that the apps should remember where they were when they were closed.
Right.
But anyway, I think for the first conversation, it's pretty cool. We'll try to keep these conversations going on a regular basis. We'll try to announce them on Twitter and Google Plus and any other social networks, so you could actually participate and people can ask questions and everything and follow us live. And we'll publish this conversation on both the iPad only blog and I will publish it on my blog as well. So we'll promote this and we'll try to keep the conversation fresh about productivity, about iPads, and about working remotely. So thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you very much. Have a great day.
Okay, now how to turn it off? I have to go to the computer actually to turn it off. So
yes.
Let me do it. Again, bye-bye.